Hello everybody, Iain Robson here, and welcome back to Baxley Farm. Here we are in Georgia, USA, and we're just getting ready to do doing a little bit of slurry spreading. Wow, guess I haven't had enough coffee yet. Anyway, so we rented this Samson here for slurry spreading, and I'm just going to take it over to the field that we're going to work on today, which is field 20 something. Anyways, as you can, you'll probably be able to see it in a second. We have the coat. I don't even call those things. No, it's not coat. It's the Garant. Garant coat FRC, whatever that is. Whatever you want to call that. Field edge container is what I know it as, at least. Anyway, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and do a little bit of slurry spreading. Well, I think we might end up. Refilling the slurry spreader, but that's a different story altogether. Alright, so let's just do this real quick. Go here, and then stop at the side right here, which is, there we go, refill it, like so. And apparently this tractor likes to move. It's the one downfall of it. And there, that's 4,000, that's fine. And what we'll do is we'll just go back onto the field like so. And we'll save that as, what field number is this? 24. F24. Refill. Field edge. That'll make sense to me, but maybe nobody else. Alright, so here we go. We need slurry spreading. We need 24. Which I should have already. There it is. And this thing I think is 25, so let's do at 24 in a bit. We want the southeast corner, heading north, return to first point, yes. Headland, maybe we'll do 1, but after, there we go. And then we'll add that to the one we just recorded, which is this weird one. And go to the first waypoint. Now this should all work. If I've done everything correctly, it should work perfectly fine. But you never know. So I did a headland just so I wouldn't run into that container there, or it was less likely. So everybody says, okay, it works. All right, let's see what happens. Is it actually going to open up? It should. I don't know why it wouldn't. But we should probably move that. This guy out of the way, who's just chilling out there. If you recall, what we were doing was we were turning the straw into chaff, but we don't need to anymore. We have enough for the time being at the BGA. So I'm just going to move him out of the way for the time being. There we go. Perfect. And I need this guy right here. So what we're going to do is, if you recall from the previous episode, we purchased this placeable purchasing point for slurry. And we're going to go ahead and just purchase slurry now. Now, one of the weird things for this particular trigger is that it doesn't get recognized by course play, so when you drive by it, it won't refill. At least that's been my experience, at least. I don't know why that's the case, but it just seems to be what's going on. And of course we have, what do we have? It's called the, oh, is it on here? Interesting. I thought, must be my imagination. I thought it might be a different map I'm thinking of, but it's been so long since I spread slurry, it feels like. Anyway, so a nice thing about slurry, of course, is the fact that once you put it on the field like that, you don't need to cultivate it in. You can, but it's not necessary. So, now what this guy's going to do is return back to the field edge container, from which he will refill, which I think is awesome. I love the fact that they have this option in the game. It's cool that they actually made it like part of the actual game itself without having to be like an extra mod. If you recall from like 2013, FS 2013 or FS 13, anyways, they had a similar function, but it was like not part of the regular game. It was like an extra thing. So it was like a mod. That's what I'm going for. Are you gonna get stuck there? Oh, that's not good. Apparently, I can't drive today. That's not good at all. Luckily, I left this tractor here for with this in mind, and it helps if I turn the tractor on, of course. And I'm gonna move the other tractor here a little bit because this guy's gonna be in the way. There we go. And one more. There we go. This guy's empty, so it's not so bad. But the cool thing about this little tractor is it kind of works well. It's not full, so I feel it's not. It could work perfectly fine. But if it were not full, then, or if it were full, I should say, then I think it would present a bit of a problem, I suspect. Alright, so this is where it's supposed to be refueling. There. And let's hop back into this guy and pay attention to where you're driving this time, Iain. There we go. And then we'll just overload. So the cool thing is, if the trigger we were using, oh, of course it's not refilling because it wasn't full. Oh no, it is refilling. But what is it refilling? That's so strange. So it's like it's going into the other. It looks as if it's there it goes. That's weird. It wasn't refilling initially, but I guess it is now. So I think what we're gonna run into is we may not have enough slurry for this. We're gonna find out. So what we'll do is we'll just wait till this is empty. Maybe we will. I'm surprised that the drive control doesn't recognize the field edge container as how full it is. Maybe it only recognizes the other transport trailer we're using. I'm just going to wait here because I don't think we have enough. I think we only did like 22,000 or something, so. Yes. Oh no, maybe it's. No, I don't think it's going to be enough. Not too bad, actually. So. Alright, so let's go refill that once again. So this is something I could do with a semi as well, but I would need a different trailer for that. Or, yeah, I would need a different trailer for that. So, for now I'm using this gorgeous case tractor made by Timber. I really like this thing. If you like IC stuff, it's got lots of little things you can do with it. If you look at the joystick, it actually moves when you accelerate and decelerate, which I think is really neat as well. So, lots of extra little nice features that he's added on this tractor. And it's funny because he just takes like a lot of the in-game tractors and he adds some really nifty stuff to it, which is one of the reasons why I like his stuff. Because he takes like mods that are generally error-free already, or things that are error-free, and then he makes them even better. There we go. Let's take a look at this guy. It's not doing too bad. So the one problem with spreading slurry or manure on various maps is the fact that you never have enough of it. Like we might get like 1.5 passes out of this, and then it'll be like empty probably. So that's the one downfall of slurry. But when you're playing on a bigger map, it's like really noticeable. But when you're playing on a smaller map, it's not so bad. One sec, coffee break. Oh, so good. So good. It's a bit cooler than I would like it now. This is what happens when I get distracted playing video games. Alright, so he's doing alright. And he's almost full. This is good. How much does this cost us per... Let's find out. 2,000? 224. So slurry is really cheap. Eventually, if you produce your own, of course, it's actually better. But the one downfall is that you have to have like a pretty hefty supply of slurry in order for it to be feasible. Now on this map they don't have slurry storage points, I don't believe. But on some other maps they do, like for example Tungstorf. I'm going to pay attention this time. Tungstorf has slurry storage points, which I think is super cool, although I haven't used them much. Back in the old days, with the Coat Universal... No, what was that? 13 or 15? I can't remember. There's another one where you can actually attach all the hoses and everything like that as well, if you want to be like as realistic as possible. It definitely takes a lot of extra time to do that, though. So he might get one whole pass done with that full tank, which isn't too bad. Now, I think this tractor on this particular slurry spreader might be a bit overkill, but I like the way it looks, first of all. And second of all, it's usually the weight which is a big issue. It's not necessarily the horsepower, it's usually the weight, and this is one of the heavier tractors we have. I probably could have used the case or this John Deere, maybe. not certain, of course. It's one of the things I'm always kind of curious about. Perfect. So we're just doing the doing the supply runs basically for the time being, because Courseplay doesn't like, because the way I've set Courseplay up with this purchase point in the past is just setting a wait point, but it doesn't quite work in the same way. Because normally you would start the course kind of at the purchasing point, but it doesn't recognize it as a purchasing point. So if you add too many waiting points, it becomes a problem. Anyways, here's a little interesting fact. I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but in Denmark, I believe it is, and many other countries in the not the United Kingdom, in Europe, you cannot spread slurry without using like some sort of direct injection system. Like what we're using right now, this guy, is fine because it drops it down into the soil, onto the soil. But if you were to use like the Ul one, this guy right here, if you were to use that's like actually illegal to use in some countries, which is kind of interesting when you think about it. But it makes sense, you know. I think it's more for like out of respect of other people and whatnot. So I think that's the reason why they did it. So, but here in North America, it's not illegal, or in Ontario at least. So maybe in some provinces, I'm not certain about that. It really depends on where you live, I suppose. But in this scenario, as far as I know, it's totally fine to do just spreading like crazily. But I think it's a good thing that they made pass that law. Makes sense. Although I'm sure farmers were, when it was first released, like most laws, whenever anything changes, it's always a big problem, because people are like, oh well, back in my day, this is or whatever it happens to be. So doesn't have to be, you know, farming related. It could be like anything, you know. When the new car comes out and they have to change things or whatever it happens to be, like there's always something like that. This is a scenario where I should have gotten the bigger. I should have gotten the bigger tank, but this is all right so far. Don't hit the trailer. Yeah, it's kind of strange that they don't show how full the other trailer is there. The other one. I'm kind of surprised, honestly. I thought they would have. Oh, there you go. So he got maybe a third of the way down the field. Oops, I wanted the truck. Let's move this out of the way. And what we're going to do is move that baler that's been sitting there for ages now. I think originally the idea was to bale up some of this, and we still can. Ooh, I don't think I can do that many things at once. I say that because I can't set Courseplay to do certain things. Oops. Backed up just a little bit too much there. There we go. Really? I think I'm not sure actually. I know a truck can pull like a round baler, a 4-foot round baler, but what kind of truck is this? An F350? Yeah, probably a 350 could probably pull this. Just pull it. That's all. But I know my brother-in-law once. He actually brought a John Deere silage special baler home using a truck, but it was like a round baler. Pretty cool little piece of machinery, actually. If you ever get a chance, we'll take a close look at some of the silage specials from John Deere or any other company. You'll notice some of the interesting differences. Like I think one of the ones that comes to mind is the actual teeth that pick up the hay are a lot thicker, or more stiffer, whatever you call it. Like they're a thicker gauge wire, I guess is how I want to describe it. And the reason being, of course, is because by them being thicker, they can pick up that wet material without being a big problem. So, and I think the cutters are a bit. I think they are a bit. If they have, do they have cutters? I can't remember now. It's been a long time since I've seen a silage special baler. Sometimes some of the newer ones, depending on the model, for John Deere, Case, whatever kind of baler, some of them have a wide pickup, which is actually really nice. Depending on what type of mower you have, Like I've mentioned before, a lot of people in North America, or at least Ontario, I can't speak for all of North America, from what I've seen in Ontario at least, I've seen a lot of Moco style mowers. There are some other ones, of course. I actually asked a question about the triple mowers in one of my previous videos, and people mentioned that it's yeah, there he's working this time. That's weird. In one of my previous videos, people mentioned the fact that it's used in places like Manitoba. You see some of the triple mowers out there as well, so which is pretty neat. I didn't think we would see much of them, but apparently they are out there. So this is good. Look at that. That's how it's supposed to work, where he just goes there and refills automatically. So that field edge container is really nice for situations like this. Now, if I were going further distances, I would, yeah, like much further than what we're doing here, I would have gotten this guy, which holds, really, that's it? That only holds 30,000 liters? Oh, wow. Well, I would have gotten that one because it holds 30,000 liters. No, cancel, back. Whew. Almost bought that. I thought I held more than that. Weird. I know the in-game one doesn't hold much. Slurry, I think. Does this one do transport? That holds 25,000. And this holds 30,000. Yeah, I guess there's not much of a difference then. Odd. I thought I held more. I thought I had one that held like 50,000 liters. That's weird. I'm sure I could find one if I looked hard enough. But I could have sworn that thing held like 50,000 liters. Look at our nice organized yard. Looks organized, eh? Of course, that's because of it's the reset point. That's why I look so fancy. Oh, goodness. I was reading in the Farmers Forum the other day there. I got the latest version for January, and I saw something that I thought was really cool. I don't know if it's something in Europe already. I'm sure it is. But what it is let me stop, overload here. What it was is they, in Ontario, they're talking about creating a hay co-op. And basically what I read, I should say, what they want to do is create a co-op for people who want to export hay to other countries, and they're talking about making like a terminal. So you would do your hay or make your hay and then take it to the terminal, and the terminal would sell it, which I think is really neat. And one of the things they talked about was a couple of canals that opened up in a few different areas. I think it's the Suez Canal, which I don't know where it is. I'd have to look that up. And I think there's maybe the Panama Canal. Is that the other one I'm thinking of? Anyways, but he talked about two canals opening up and making it more feasible for Canadians to export hay as a way of a business. Now, one of the really neat things about that was the fact that he mentioned in the article that you can theoretically get as much yield from a field of hay as you can from corn, which I thought was interesting. Now, one of the nice things about that is the fact that hay, you don't have as many inputs over time. Like with corn, you still have to fertilize the hay if you're gonna export it, because you want to get as much as possible. But you probably wouldn't have to seed it every single year like you do with corn, which is nice because often seeding is one of the big troubles you run into. One of the big troubles you run into when you are planting, basically. You're trying to get to planting season and you just can't get to it in time. And of course, the earlier you plant your corn, the better yield you get in Ontario. I'm sure it's similar for other places as well. But here, it's always a problem. So what he was talking about is if you want to become a member of this co-op, you have to pay, of course, blah blah blah. But I thought it was kind of interesting because I didn't realize that that was a thing. But now that I know that, that's really interesting. I'm going to mention it to my father-in-law because he already grows hay. So if it becomes a possibility to export the hay, That's going to be really interesting for him, maybe, because then he might grow more of it. Because right now he just grows canola when his contractor basically is planting canola. He'll say, because it takes a little bit of setup, of course. He just said, I will plant canola if you're planting canola, sort of thing. Really? Fine, we'll just drive over the weeds here. And the same thing goes for wheat. But usually he grows wheat, canola, depending on the year, soybeans. So it could be something interesting for him to look into. But I don't know if that's something he would look into, you know. We shall see. But I thought that was really interesting that they were bringing something like that to Ontario. Now, if you know in your country or state, if they have those types of things there, let me know. I'm kind of curious. I know OLF, he sells to a mushroom barn, but it's not quite the same thing. Because other countries in the world don't have the same capabilities as we do here in North America, in terms of like water, like getting water, for example. Like California, of course, would be like a bit of an exception in some other states. Oops, I don't want to refill. I want to do the other way around. So here in North America, we have lots of water. Other places in the world don't have as much water or can't grow as much hay as we can as easily because they don't have the space. So I think that is a really, really cool possibility, in my mind at least. So anyways, 1 second coffee break. I've been talking a lot apparently. Look at that, we've managed to keep up with this guy. I'm impressed. I knew this was going to be a problem right here. Let's just turn. I don't remember if these arms are collidable or not. Hopefully not. There we go. I'll just save myself the trouble of running into that guy multiple times. That's not too bad, actually. It's not taking as long as I thought it was going to take, honestly. Having a 30-meter spread probably helps. I probably could have increased it a little bit, but I wanted to make sure there's a little bit of overlap right there. It's actually not that much if you look carefully. It's actually not that much overlap. It's like maybe half a meter, it looks like. That's pretty good. I love how you can see the slurry coming down from each of those nozzles too. That's a lot of detail work. I can't imagine how much of a pain that would have been to actually do that. So, sweet. We can just let that guy chill out there for the time being then. That is awesome. Now, I was moving this guy into position because I think I'm going to cultivate that stuff in. I don't want to see the weeds. This is the main reason why, if I'm honest. Now, the way I've set that up is I've set it up so he does a headland after the fact. So, there we go. Got the big John Deere. I forget which one this is. Which one is this? The 9560. I got this one from, if you're wondering where I got this one, I got it from Randy, R.D. Allen. For those people who have no idea who Randy is. R.D. Allen, that's what his name is on YouTube, and he did a mod spotlight on it a while back, and I just happened to watch that and download it because I thought it was a cool looking tractor. So I don't like the blinking. That annoys me a little bit, but say I love you. Can't win it all the time. So I'm going to position this guy over here so when the time is right, I can just start cultivating. Or plowing, I guess technically this would be. But that's the 9560RX, which is nice. I think this is the newest one that John Deere's brought out this year. Or maybe it was last year. I think it was last year. This is one of the newest ones they brought out. And of course this is the 2720 JD Ripper from LBJ Modding. Also known as Joe Lindbergh. But he likes to be called LBJ Modding, which is cool. Totally fine with that. Alright. It's coming back for another load. Good. This is good. Very good. Now we do have a couple of things going on the farm. I guess I don't. I thought I did. Maybe I don't. I'm gonna move this guy back actually to where he was, which of course was the. Let's lower that. He was at the BGA, which is somewhere around here. I totally forgot. Now, this composter actually works now, and you can set up, you can make compost with it, which with the soil mod is really nice, because compost is basically considered a manure, which you can spread as manure on your fields, which is the best thing to spread on your soil mod field, on your fields when you're using the soil mod. Here we go. Holy smokes. Where is the BGA? Just south of here. Perfect. So we want to head south. So I do like this JCB, man. This is one of the cooler ones. I could have got the New Holland one too, but I rarely. It's funny. I rarely use wheel loaders, and I have no idea why. I think it's just because I don't normally get to that point on a farm. I think that's the reason why, at least. Am I going the right way? Yes. I think that's the reason why, or at least that's what I feel is the reason why. It's just because I just never get to that point. But I could have got the New Holland one. That's one I honestly have not used much. This is probably one of my favorites. I really like this wheel loader. I like the way it looks, the way it handles. It's nice and quiet, which is nice as well. One of the big problems, like when you're inside, it's like nice and quiet in here. But one of the big problems I find with some of the other wheel loaders is the fact that when you're inside of them, they're just like super, super loud, and you're like, it's like deafening. You're like, oh, turn it off. That's how I feel about it, at least. But this one is nice and quiet. Perfect. I wonder how much slurry we actually have in here. Probably not much. Not much at all. We have a whole... I don't forget how big these bunkers are. They're probably... I remember them being pretty big. If I had to guess. 300... So the 400,000. So they're 800,000. I guess that is silage right now. I guess we could put it in the BGA and sell it. I think this... no, it's not this one. One of the BGAs, I forget which one it is, or which map it is now. I think it's Michigan. Oh, look at that coin. I think it's Michigan that has like a point where you can just drive over it and unload, which is really nice, actually. So, but it doesn't work very well with the BGA extension, which I like as well. So, anyways, I think I'm going to stop it there. Oh, there we go. This guy needs to be filled up some more. I think I'll stop it there for the time being. And we'll come back next episode, and I think we will start some cultivating on this field. Because we need to cultivate... Well, we don't need to cultivate, but I think it would look nicer if we cultivated, or plowed at least. I don't think we even have a cultivator. No, we don't have a cultivator, do we? We just have the plow. Which is good for the soil mod. How much is that? I think it's 90,000 for the Lemkin. This is like one of my favorite cultivators. Maybe we'll buy that. It's not too much money. Wow, in reality it's a lot of money, but in this game it doesn't feel like very much. Anyway, I am going to stop there before I keep babbling on about other things. Alright folks, that's it for me for today. My name's Iain Robson. This has been an episode of Baxley Farm, coming at you from Georgia, USA, which is where this map is based in. And if you enjoyed yourself, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate that. And I will catch you guys later.